SEZME, Antonio Gates ISNT wanted to play football anymore. Not in Carson, or the Costa Mesa Lima Bean Farm, he ISNT. So it's natural for us to wonder how, if Fredo Spanos' sons and their band of Judases will honor him now that his umbilical has been cut from this historically inept and ungrateful franchise. Will he be treated the same way the Chargers treated so many of their former greats on their way out, like crap, or will he be as unique as he is as a player and be handled differently than his predecessors now that they're the Jays, and be sent off in a manner he justly deserves? In the past, there haven't even been parting gifts. Kellen Winslow, the team's other all-time tight end, didn't exactly leave in a parade. The players held a roast for Dan Fouts when a Hall of Fame quarterback retired, and management didn't attend. Know who was their Broncos owner Pat Bowlen? I asked him why he dropped into an enemy event. I've always admired him, class. When I covered the team, Doug Wilkerson was cutting camp and Russ Washington just prior to the opener. Unceremoniously. Great players. So if the over-under on the chance of doing the right, classy thing is 2%, take the under. Gates spent blood, sweat and years playing tight end as well as tight end could be played in the NFL, often through painful foot injuries. The great players must be accounted for. The thing about Antonio, at his peak, was that he couldn't be accounted for. Defensive coordinators tried everything. Hopeless. He was uncoverable. Damn, I mean he was brilliant. At times simply astounding. And a groundbreaker. A walk-on. Undrafted. Antonio Gates was a college basketball standout with little football experience, zero at Kent State, who became a Hall of Fame caliber tight end using his body as no one at his position had before. But what set him apart, as it separated former teammate LaDainian Tomlinson, was his ability to score. In his 15 years, most of them as Philip Rivers fail-safe, Gates played in 220 games, starting 189, and 114 of his 927 catches 11,508 yards were for 2 counts, an NFL record for tight ends. Only 12 players at any position have scored more. I wonder how much more he would have done with 2 good feet. He'll always be convinced they beat New England in the 2007-08 AFC Championship game. If Gates, Lieutenant and Rivers a healthy 3-point game in the fourth quarter, Tony Gonzalez, the leading pass catcher among all tight ends, he played 50 more games than Gates, also played basketball at Cal. When asked about Tony's hoops prowess, Gates, a second-team All-American at Kent, said, "He played basketball. They had to game plan for me." Reader Lynette suggests the Padres should have an Antonio Gates night. Great idea. Or play him. He probably can get a hit. Gates wants to continue playing somewhere. I wonder. He wasn't near his old self last year. No separation. Classiest NFL organization, Pittsburgh. Look up what the Steelers so generously did for injured linebacker Ryan Shazier. If Lamar Jackson is on my football team, his astounding talent isn't being utilized holding a clipboard for 60 minutes. The Raiders continue to conduct drafts the way Al Davis ran them in his later years. Didn't work. Don't know if 1998 football can win now. John Gruden is Oakland's football boss. Reggie McKenzie has GM label in name only. The NFL invited 334 players to the Combine, 117 went undrafted. The 4 highest-paid quarterbacks therefore. Players: Matt Ryan $30 million, Kirk Cousins $28 million, Jimmy Garoppolo $27.5 million, Matthew Stafford $27 million. They've never won anything. Aaron Rodgers' new deal will be coming soon. There isn't enough cheddar in Wisconsin. Hank Bauer, one of the great specialists, wonders why he wasn't invited to the NFL special teams discussion at the league office. So should Roger Goodell. Padres are playing maybe their most attractive home series versus the Dodgers in Monterrey, Mexico. People have to be smarter than this. International embarrassment. No hit in Mexico. The best thing about these Padres are their minor league reports from Bill Center. Kind of like 1962. Andy Green should have Christian Villanueva take 300 ground balls a day. No matter how much magic is in the wand, can't have an everyday defensive liability at third. Steph Curry takes 500 shots a day during the summer and 200 to 350 a day during the. Christian can take some ground balls. Basketball's latest illegal motion, the Euro step, is American traveling. So LeBron doesn't come up big when it matters in his 5 playoff Game 7's 4 wins. HES scored 45, 27, 37, 32, 31 and 45. He's better now than ever. Don't get people seeing him through polarized lenses. The 27th annual MS Golf Invitational will honor Dan Fouts on Monday at La Jolla Country Club. Hoping for 120 golfers. Great cause. Registration at 10 a.m. LA has a plan in the works for a gondola that will take fans from Union Station to Dodger Stadium. We're preparing a Friars Road bike lane rendering. Stinko the Week's Esmond, paying to park anywhere, but especially at hospitals, where nobody wants to be, let alone pay to park. Easiest way to become a broadcaster. I'm fairly certain Walter Cronkite and Edward R. Murrow were Dallas Cowboys. The surfing world is gaga over Brazil's Rodrigo Coxa riding an 80-foot wave. How quickly they forget Jeff Spicoli. Before Tommy John came along, there were fewer surgeries. A study claims poor people are more generous than rich people. What can I do for you? Says me.godfather@gmail.com. Twitter, @s.kanipa. Caption: USA Today wonders if SDSU can match recent rushing success while ranking Aztecs in preseason top 25 poll. USA Today wonders if SDSU can match recent rushing success while ranking Aztecs in preseason top 25 poll. Caption: Aztecs star Rashard Penny goes to Seattle Seahawks, joining Penn State's Saquon Barkley as first running backs selected in NFL draft. Aztec star Rashard Penny goes to Seattle Seahawks, joining Penn State's Saquon Barkley as first running backs selected in NFL draft. Caption: the first 15 picks of the NFL draft. The first 15 picks of the NFL draft. Caption: the NFL draft has become a nice appetizer before our main course in September. A mock version of said draft is meant to educate, and even entertain. At very least, it helps you pass the time. The NFL draft has become a nice appetizer before our main course in September. A mock version of said draft is meant to educate, and even entertain. At very least, it helps you pass the time. Caption: Desiree Linden, who was born in Chula Vista and went to Hilltop High, becomes first American woman since 1985 to win the Boston Marathon. Desiree Linden, who was born in Chula Vista and went to Hilltop High, becomes first American woman since 1985 to win the Boston Marathon.